Again, we will go to Virtual Mart, and then we will go to Products. Now, I think I might have made a mistake of saying that we should look at products next. There is actually a few things that would be important for us to just quickly go over before we actually get to products. So please accept my apology for that. And that is, let's first look at your shopper fields as well as your custom fields. It's quite important. We go to shopper fields first. Now the shopper fields is really what is during the registration process. It's what is shown and what is required and what is not required and all these kind of things. And it's controlled through switches in correspondence to these columns. So this column, if it's ticked, says required. This shows that it's published. This shows to registration form. This shows in the shipment form. This shows in the account maintenance form of the user. And this is the field type, the field title, and the field name. And then here you have a toggle that you can select and then exercise any of these actions upon this specific line. Now you'd see that there's a whole list of things already set up, and some of them are compulsory, like this. You can't change them in the sense of putting them off. The username is compulsory. And this agreement to terms and services, again, remember this is controlled through that shop settings that we looked at earlier. There's a password agree and then an email address. But then you have things like address nickname and billing to information, company name, first name, middle name. And you can look through this list and see, okay, what of these would you want to use in your registration and what would be important to you. And you can add new line, and you can order these fields through this order feature here. You basically click on this arrows to save the ordering. So you could number these orderings differently. First click on order, then it will reload the page, and then it will be ordered 1, 2, 3 in the way that it will be displayed on the page. Okay. Now, if you want to change 9, then you can now make it whatever, and then click on this save order, and it will move the specific line up or down in this sheet. So that's a quick look at the shopper fields, and it is in these shopping fields that you could actually make a lot of changes. You could just click on one of these fields. Let's virtual country ID. And inside of this field there is some toggles again, and you can add a description, and really there is in everything there is so many options and different values and things that you can add, and I can hardly not cover all of that, but you can look at these and make changes as you think is necessary. And if you see that the changes that you've made is not what you expected, then just come back and revert to what it was, and sort of keep track of what you do so that you don't break something. Okay, now let's look at this custom fields. Custom fields is really one of the more complex aspects of the whole shop when it comes to the custom fields, because it requires a little bit more back-end knowledge with codes. Like you need to know what is an integer, you need to know what's a boolean, you need to know what is a string, you need to know some of these code terms which is used, and yet we've set up a number of different things here which you can make. Actually you can come and change them to fit your needs. For example, we have added this size which we could use for shoes. Now remember, that is the title of the custom field. This will be important later when you work with bulk uploading, that you remember that this title is the name that will be used in the spreadsheets columns in correspondence to its settings. Now it's got a default here of 30. We could make that 6, and you can say change the size, and You can set this to who can see this. You can put this as a parent item, and make it a cart attribute like it is. And the description, you could leave this blank, or you could add something into it and simply come and change this description, save it, go look at a product that has this custom field applied to it, and then you can see whether you would want this here or not. And so that is to actually edit a specific custom field that has already been set up. You can create new ones by clicking on new and trying out different options and different features. So you would see that there is all these different options. You want a card variant, a date, time, boolean, parent, integer, string, an image, and also many other options. And then, as I said, if you don't know exactly how all these things work, you could go to VirtueMart and look at its documentations. There is quite a lot of documentations, and there's a forum we can ask questions and how to make some of these changes. And if you run into a wall, you're always welcome to contact us, and we would be very glad to assist you where we are able. And okay, so that is looking at custom fields. Custom fields are not maybe always applicable to all of you, but some might want to make use of it, maybe to show different colors or different price structures or something like that to specific products. And yes, again here the sky is the limit. There is really no telling on all the different ways that this method of custom fields can be implemented. Okay, so now we've looked at your shopper fields as well as your custom fields. And although they sound the same, they're really not doing the same thing. We can also quickly take a look at inventory. Although this is very much controlled through you can control this inside of your product as well as outside through this gate here. And so in your inventory, it shows you what you have told VirtueMart as what you have stock of, and so it sort of gives you a little list of all your products in your shop and how much there is stock and how much there is not. You could change these stock counts through this bulk method that we'll look at later, or you could actually just click on a specific product in this list and make a change to that product. What it will in effect do is open that specific product, almost like the same as if you were to go to the product and click on product. So that's why I said it's really just to see the inventory. If you want to edit it, you can just as well go to the product range and look at the different products. Okay, that was a mouthful. Now let's go to products.